Hello, people. It's L.A. McNeil of the Dudes List. Let me take these glasses off. I need them to read, but with this crude light I'm working with right now, the glare will probably bounce off my eyes and blind you dudes. So, boys, welcome back. It is L.A. McNeil with the Dudes List, and yes, I know it look a little different from the first photo shoot we did. Yes. I let the hair grow out, and I chopped off part of the beard. I do that from time to time. Sometimes I'm just lazy. Sometimes I just want to change it up because I'm trying to impress some new girl. Excuse me. Woman. In any case, two cases, the dudes list. What I'm going to do in this first real input of the dudes list is I'm going to reveal, because as I said, this thing is based on my book upcoming, The Dudes List, the 150 greatest dudes movies ever made. So what I'm going to do actually is drop, which is probably kind of counterintuitive, but I'm going to reveal the first 10, well, not the first, let's get this right, because this is 150 of the greatest dudes movies ever made, and admittedly by my and a few friends' input on that, but we're all dudes. Some of us more duder than others. I've been a dude for 5.5 decades, so I think I got seniority, so I'm pulling that. So, but I'm going to drop 10 of the 150, because I'm not going to, even though I'm picking these 150, I'm not going to rate them 1 through 50. I'm going to leave that to the dudes out there to argue amongst yourselves. And you can give me any input, please do, as to what you think should be 1, 5, the greatest of all time, whatever. Bring it on. We want to talk about it. But I'm going to drop 10 of the 150 in this first show, just to kind of get the party started. And the first one I'm going to drop may be one of the most obvious ones of all time for the, we'll say, the 1 to 30 year olds, from 30 year olds back, because from your childhood to now, it's one of the greatest legendary dude movies of all time, made by a demented genius. And I say demented because he seemed perfectly normal for a while, and then he just lost his fucking mind. But in any case, a brilliant screenwriter, a brilliant, director, brilliant actor. Actually, I loved him. He's one of the kings of action movies. But I digress from all the public crap that he's done in the last 10 or 15 years. But I mean, you can't argue with the man's work. I mean, Woody Allen may be a freak too. I mean, going after his stepdaughter, but undeniable filmatic genius. What can you do? Sometimes freaks roll around in the skulls of genius. What can I tell you? In any case, back to cases. First one that I'm going to drop, not in an order, but the first one I'm going to drop out, Braveheart, Mel Gibson. The man, the myth, the legend, the crazy motherfucker. However, brilliant director. And Braveheart, I really don't need to do a lot of talking about it, but it is one of the greatest dudes movies of all time. And for the women folk out there, it's also one of the most romantic movies of all time. I mean, now admittedly, you got to go get through all that intestines flying out while he's hacking people to pieces and lopping off heads. And one of my favorite scenes where he has that pike with, it's a cylindrical, sharp spear type deal here, and it comes out like this. And it's for basically hooking through that big metal helmet that the knights used to wear and into their skulls and pulling it right out. Oh, yes, that's some serious dudetry right there. I mean, as my girls would say, ill. But in a dude way, it's awesome. It's off the chain. It's gross and violent, but he's in love. Someone dogged out his woman. They cut his woman's throat in front of his face. Oh, you got to go amok. A man has got to run amok behind some crap like that. And he does. It's awesome. It's Braveheart. Number one on the list, freedom. I'm sorry, I got caught up. It's awesome. Braveheart. Number one on the list that I'm dropping. Not number one. I'm not saying it's the number one all the time because believe me, I'm going to be dropping some stuff and you go, oh no, that's got to be it. So, but it's got to be the first one I'm going to mention right now. I'm dropping it out there. Just let it soak in. It's Braveheart. It's swords and chopping and punching and kicking. And he hates his enemy so much he can spit in his eye. And his enemy, oh my God. What can we say about King? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Longshanks. Awesome acting. Just a great bad guy. Okay, we're going to move on. Or I'll just roll around in Braveheart forever. Not going to do that. Next one up, I'm going to go with, let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, this cat, he's got acting props out the wazoo. He's got 2 Academy Awards. He's known for actually more than acting and action films, but being an actor. But the brother can get down. Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington. And the movie is Crimson Tide. And you see this right here? No, I think the way I'm photographing, I'll probably come back. It's Navy, baby. It's Navy, baby. I did 15 years. I stayed as long as it was fun. I left when I got the urge to shoot officers on site. That's beside the point. I got an honorable discharge. Don't front. In any case, this guy, Crimson Tide, submarine executive officer, number one, if you're a Star Trek fan, is facing off against his commanding officer, Gene Hackman, the hardest working motherfucker in show business. What can we say about Crimson Tide? It's gripping and thought-provoking and awesome action. You got submarines shooting at each other. Denzel doing his Captain Kirk to phenomenal degrees. He was so Captain Kirk had to say, "Shit, you're Captain Kirk." I'm sorry. It was awesome. There's a scene up there where he's standing on he's got that timer in his hand. He's counting down as the torpedoes are coming toward him, and he's figuring out how to shoot back at them before it times out. All that submarine shit that I was a surfer sailor. What can I tell you? But anyway, it was so friggin' cool. I'm like, now here's the thing. And like I said, Navy. I joined the Navy when I was 17 years old. And I stayed till I was 31, somewhere around there. Anyway. There's guys that you will salute, I'm saying officers, that you salute and respect because they got the rank. You respect the bars. And then there are guys that you just respect. The dudes that you will literally follow into hell if they say, we got to go get that motherfucker. Denzel epitomized that guy in that movie. And if you're in the military, especially the Navy, but if you're in the military, you know what I'm talking about. He just so much, and this is one thing that Denzel does maybe better than anybody else, because he's caught me a couple of times when they've given him roles. I'm like, I don't know about that. And then he just bam in my face. I'm like, okay, you did that. He has the ability to get in and get the essence of what this thing is about. He did it with Malcolm X, because when he got Malcolm X, I'm old enough to remember Malcolm X on TV, and the brother don't look nothing like Malcolm X. However, I got to tell you, I watched that movie and I was like, holy shit. I mean, now when I hear about Malcolm X, I think of Denzel first, and then I cut to Malcolm. So he did that in this role as this naval officer. He became that guy that I'm watching this going, I would have, anything he told me, I'm like, okay, sir, you got to be right on that. Because here's the thing, and I'm digressing from film, but here's the thing about the officer man thing in the service. I know for me, and it could be because I'm black and hard-headed and arrogant, as many women have told me. I had this thing where I would, when I was in for 15 years, there were officers that I respected as well. I didn't really respect them at all, actually, let's be real. But they had the rank. And I was a professional military man. So these guys, I addressed by their rank. This was my code because legally I can do this. I would say, yes, Commander. No, Lieutenant. Absolutely not, Ensign. I believe so, Colonel. These guys, I was giving them their respect, but maybe this is a black thing, but I could not say sir to them. I did not respect them. So I couldn't get myself to say sir. So I had to address them by their actual rank, which was legal. There were officers who I just said, no, sir, I think we should do this. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. If you want that, I'm going to handle it, sir. These were the guys that we respected. They warranted a sir. Denzel just got that, and he played it. I'm like, oh, yes, sir. No, sir. Absolutely. You would have got a sir out of me, Rob. Crimson Tide. Second one I want to mention. Awesome. And okay, I'm going to move it along a little bit because I'm getting long-winded. The Dirty Dozen. Way back in the 60s, my daddy's pitcher, Jim Brown, the great football running back, later actor, first picture. It's another one was almost Kurosawa takeoffs where you get this set from the Seven Samurai. You get all these guys from different backgrounds, different specialties, and they do a certain job and da da da. The Dirty Dozen. If you have not seen it, young boys, trust and believe, rent this puppy and watch it. Awesome action. And you will see stuff that you see in movies now, but it was only done there first. Watch it. The Dirty Friggin' Dozen. Lee Marvin busting it up. I mean, the cast is amazing. Telly Savalas, John Cassavetes, Donald Sutherland. Holy shit. Keep going. Anyway, next up, The Warriors. Warriors, come out to play, yay, yay. Oh, gang movie, 70s era. Awesome. Ass whooping. Characters, vivid, before its time. Awesome movie. The Warriors. This is homework, people. Look this up. Go to YouTube. If it's on there, watch it. If it's not, rent it. Warriors. Next up. Oh, here's an oldie but a goodie. The original 300 Spartans. Now, we all saw the newer version of that, and the sequel to it that just came out. Awesome, too. But I'm talking about 1968, 300 Spartans, the first time that I know of that the story of Leonidas, king of Sparta, is filmed. I saw it when I was a little boy. And I mean, I think I must have been like 9 or 10. The story, the sacrifice, knocked me over then. And when I became a history freak in high school, and I had a great teacher, Mr. Koster, at Germantown High in Philadelphia, who told us the story. He was a really good teacher, vivid. He was a great storyteller. So history came alive. It wasn't just names and dates. But anyway, he told the story again. I was like, I fell in love with the story again. So 300 Spartans, the original 1968 300 Spartans. I believe it was 1968. Go to Google it. Yeah. So, once again, so what do we got? Braveheart, Crimson Tide, Dirty Dozen, The Warriors, 300 Spartans. We're halfway through. I'm going to cover, and I did this in a book too because there's just so many of them. I'm going to bond. I just gave myself away. I'm going to wrap all of them together in one package and say the James Bond franchise. Bond. James Bond. Coolest white cat to ever put a tuxedo on and a gun. Really. I don't have to say anything else about James Bond. And I don't care who played him. Because everybody has their favorites, and I have my least favorite. Well, let me shout out on the favorites. My man is Pierce Brosnan. Okay. However, Daniel Craig is a bad mother shut your mouth. I am not mad at him. I really do like the way he plays Bond. Pierce is my man. But Daniel Craig is awesome. And to my sister, Pain in My Ass, otherwise known as Pima for Pain in My Ass. You know who you are. Who likes to come up to me and say, best Bond ever! Shut up! It's Pierce. Daniel is good. Pierce is the man. Enough said. Take that to the bank. Beat it, Anch. Okay, so we got 6. Okay. Tombstone, greatest Western in modern history. I'll be a huckleberry. Doc Holliday can never be anybody else but Val Kilmer for me. I can't be anybody else but Val Kilmer. And Powers Booth is so underappreciated to me as Curly Bill. Curly Bill. There's a scene in that movie where Wyatt Earp, he's had his moment. He's had enough is enough, and he comes wading out into the water with his gun. And he's shooting. And Brocious looks at this and sees this moment of dudeness, and goes out. And he runs out into the water, and they're just banging at each other. I'm gonna go into all these in depth, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to crush them all in. Tombstone. Enough said. Greatest Western of the modern era. And I'm going to mention some of the other great ones because the Clint Eastwood's, you can't overlook his, but Tombstone is my Okay, so where we at? Let me pause for a minute and figure out where we at. That was 7. We had 3 more to do. The third one, I should group these all into 1, 2. No, I'm going to suggest another one. Sharky's Machine. Sharky's Machine, it was a protest movie of sorts made by the great Burt, one of the kings of dude movies of all time, by the way. Burt Reynolds made Sharky's Machine, and according to him in a talk show, his buddy Clint Eastwood was making Dirty Harry movies and making a fortune doing it, but he made about 3 comedies in a row, and he was moving into Burt's territory because Burt was making a lot of comedies and making a lot of money doing it. So Burt said that he told Clint that if he didn't stop making those comedies, he was going to make Dirty Harry Goes to Atlanta. And I guess he didn't stop making them, so Burt made Sharky's Machine. Fantastic detective movie about detectives in Atlanta. Just the cinematography was great. Burt directed this, by the way, and this is something I really lament to this day that he did not do more directing because Burt really had the potential to be where his buddy Clint is. In revere and his reverence for his directorial style. Great director, very good, and in any case, I highly recommend Sharky's Machine. Okay, for the sci-fi fans among us, and Star Trek's The Wrath of Khan. Once again, not what you essentially think of, but when you think about the elements of dude movies, especially the part about the protagonist and the antagonist and their feeling, their emotional connection to each other, their willingness to destroy each other, to destroy the other, that's more or less the heart and soul of The Wrath of Khan. I mean, it's called The Wrath. And both of these men get their despise on in this picture. It's just excellent. The Wrath of Khan. Maybe one of the greatest Star Trek movies of all time. There's been some good ones, some not so good ones, but The Wrath of Khan is still pretty much revered. The last new Star Trek movie he did from the Reload basically remade that movie. I enjoyed it. I did. Still not as good as the original, but I did enjoy it. And finally, what do we do for the last one of this show that I want to throw up? I'm going to put out, well, my throat, that did not sound good. In any case, I am going to put out something iconic, something, bear with me, I'm looking at my notes. Something, no, that's not iconic enough for a closer. Or I could go with something stupid. Let's go with something stupid. However, stupidity is often a hallmark of dude movies. So in the this was the early 80s, I'm sorry. Burt Reynolds again. Cannonball Run. Okay. Critics hated this movie. They despised it. Women were not that crazy about it either. I think of it as the Three Stooges on a road trip, or what a lot of critics accused Burt Reynolds of at the time. And I'm not even mad at him because of this accusation, is that he got all of his buddies together, found a way to get him a paycheck for playing. And he invited us to the party. I'm cool with that. Okay? Cannonball Run. Number 10 on the list of the 100, not number 10. And let me I keep saying that. I'm not putting that in that list. I'm just saying this is the 10th one that I'm dropping for you today off that list. And I just went randomly and jumped around off the 150 to give you an idea of what the Geatest list is about. Okay. For future episodes, we're not going to just linger in the past, but because this is the Geatest list, I had to give you, for the first show, I want to give you 10 of the examples of the films that are on the Geatest list. We are going to look at some new pictures. Today is, I believe, the 7th of September, 2014, a Sunday. And I'm a little disoriented because I slept through Saturday. I had a long week. I moved into a new place, and I'm having woman problems, which is pretty much my whole deal, pretty much all the time. So I was a little distracted. Ladies and gentlemen, we will do, I think, Denzel's new remake of the Equalizer TV show from the 80s drops next Friday. If that's the case, and I do believe it is, I will go check that out, and I will give you my review right here. And see, is it a future potential dude lister? In any case, this is L.A. McNeil, Big Daddy to my friends and my youngins. Peace out. Dude on.